Oh my god, this is what I'm talking about. No commentary playthrough. Oh my god, Smosh played this game. Alright. Here's the video. In classic 480p quality. I'm gonna turn off my camera, I think, for this. Maybe not. So, the game is so insanely simple. Okay, I don't know if you can notice. Do you see this grass? This is default Unity grass. In Unity 5, this is what came with one of the example projects. So see these trees? These trees are the example trees that Unity gives you in one of the sample projects that is made with their tree creator. Well, it's SpeedTree. So I literally mean this game was thrown together from a Unity template, but it's still a really good game and that a bunch of people loved it. So, okay, this is the game. Insanely simple. You're in a dark forest with just a flashlight and you've got to find all 8 pages. I think if there is lore, the lore is that you're like an investigator looking into missing people. If I remember correctly. So, I'm actually interested. I don't remember what jump... I think there are jump scares, but most of it at the beginning is like slow build. See, I actually think this doesn't do it justice, because there's a bunch of... You'll like see hidden in the trees Slenderman. And that's like the huge part of the game, is just this sort of slow build horror where it's like making you think you're gonna get jump scared and building tension. And you eventually go into like buildings and stuff. I remember the ending is actually really difficult. Okay, let's just skip to the ending. Okay, this video is so bad. Hold on. The video is such a bad quality. "4K 60 FPS. Here we go. Look at how much smaller the text is. Ah, the days when there was no such thing as resolution independent rendering. Also known as 2021. I'm just gonna skip ahead to where we were. So, if you look around, there's actually, like, you'll find Slenderman. And so the game is insanely simple. Basically just walk around and look for Slenderman. I actually just realized that the flashlight makes it such low field of view. You basically could just make the field of view super low and it would be nearly the same thing. Every VR chat with this setup has jump scare screamer. got good audio too, like the ominous going on. Oh yeah, so this is the thing, when Slender Man gets close, your vision goes fuzzy. So I believe if you turned around right now, you would actually see Slender Man, but you don't want to do that because that gets you caught and killed. Anyways, you eventually find all the pages. And I think you escape. I think it's a bathroom at the end. I'm waiting for the jump scare. So, from what I remember, there's like actually no jump scares unless you get caught. Like I said, if you turn around, you'll actually get jump scared and Slender Man will be there. From what I remember. So what I'm thinking of doing is literally doing a game where you just walk through a forest and run away from this void monster. I feel like doing pages would be, I don't know, pages might be weird. I almost feel like doing collect evidence. There's the jump scare. It got me. Rip ears. Rip ears. Yeah, there's the jump scare. So this guy didn't even get to the ending. What a dick, dude. Imagine publishing a walkthrough on YouTube and you only get 5 out of 9 pages. What a noob, man. What a noob. That's actually disappointing. The one 4K video I can find didn't finish the ending. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna stare at this cartoon render pipeline for a little bit because I still feel like there's some stuff I forgot in here. So we're gonna look at that and see. And then, yeah. My whole thing is like, I'm thinking I might not build a forest. I might do a procedurally generated forest. Because that seems way easier, actually, for me. Let's look at some of this code here. So this procedural terrain class I set up, I think it has details, which I think includes trees. I'm not 100% certain. Paint trees, paint details. Tree height random. So I actually might not want to use the terrain renderer for trees. I might just want to place trees. Check out my WebGL portals. Pretty bad, but main point is you can walk through them. Nice. Everything inside of every portal rendered in its own frame buffer object. Can you see portals in portals? You can. Very nice. And is there a day-night cycle? Oh, it just resets. Nice little rock structure. Is that a Pokeball? That is a Pokeball. Oh! That's a cool effect. Yeah, I saw the one portal through the other, you can see here. Yeah, it definitely lags way more when the portals aren't in view, or are in view. Where does the portal end and where does it begin? So there's a plane like right here, right? And I'm passing through it. Yeah, that's very interesting. I think because you have the resolution match up 100%. Oh! You can see a little bit of the lighting change, but yeah, that's really good. I don't even think that's the plane either. I think you literally just maybe change the ambient lighting or something when you go through here. Nice. Is there an actual puzzle here, or is it just like little stuff for no reason? To demo panoramas. Interesting. Don't know how to spawn/draw them. Figured it out today. You need to set all the values of the tree instance and normalize the position for everyone with a similar issue. Prototype equals prefab. Your prototype collection, tree instance. Buttons to change sun position. Ah. Yeah, so I'm thinking the best thing is to actually use trees. Or, sorry, just put down trees. Because Unity will try to use instancing on this, which won't actually work on some platforms. But if I just place the trees as meshes and then use static batching, that'll actually be the best. And I shouldn't even worry that much about optimization at the beginning. WebGL 1 demo, by the way. Nice. Place terrain. Detail grass by code. I think Google's getting worse every day because they're spending more time doing these little animations and images than actually improving their search engine and software. Set pixels. It's not good generation. I guess I'll just read the documentation. Returns a 2D array of detail object density, the number of detail objects for this layer in the specific location. Terrain system uses detail layer density maps. Each is essentially a grayscale image. Each pixel denotes the number of detail objects that will be procedurally placed in the terrain area. Okay. So that integer is literally the number of objects in the area. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Hey, div v. Am I forgetting anything? No, I think not. Let's just go into designing. Alright, I'm gonna go get some water and something to eat first, and then we'll get back and we'll start trying to design something. So I want, like, I know I want to do a really simple, kind of not very good, basic, say not very good, but like really basic horror game where you literally just walk through a forest in like a dark scene with maybe a flashlight or something. But I feel like there needs to be gameplay. I feel like just running away from a scary monster isn't actual gameplay. Why depression tag? Does there need to be a reason? Just the depression tag. Basically an insanely simple game that just has very minimal objects, like just trees, grass, and ground. And then some scary monster chasing you. That's mainly what I want to focus on. Doing some like void monster or something that maybe has some cool vertex shader that does a bunch of like distortions or something. But I feel like just running away isn't actually a good like you need something to do. Like I feel like the pages that you find in that Slenderman game are actually a decent objective, like just finding something. So I'm thinking maybe just like you search through the forest to maybe find like evidence of people the monster has killed or something. I don't know. That's the thing. It's really hard to like come up with this stuff. Maybe I need to like read some SCP pages or something, or some Slenderman fan stories to get ideas. Anyways, I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, let's read some SCP. Hold on. I actually just realized I think there's videos where people narrate this.
This cage is vast. It has no walls.
You know what I just realized?
While I stand still,
This might
all I
actually
see is a
have
white
some
plane
stuff that you
stretching
can't
across
show
an
on
equally
stream.
blank sky. There is no life in this place.
Dude, this is literally a kid reading this. Oh my god. It would be a lot scarier if it wasn't like a 13-year-old kid reading.
I can move for as long as I choose, but should I stop for even a moment, I am snapped back to this spot, forever damned to be tethered to my prison. Despite this, I have wandered far, exploring the purgatory I have known for countless years. In my travels in this wasteland of white, I have seen flashes of things, horrible things that simply should not be. Grotesque abominations that appear for moments at a time, only to disappear as if
Does anyone know, I think there's like a Firefox extension or something that reads out pages. With text to speech. Yeah, it was called Read Aloud. Oh, I guess it's gone now. The Reader extension. The Reader extension? I really feel like browsers should have built-in text-to-speech right now. I guess you could always copy and paste paragraphs into Google text-to-speech. Wow. Seems like Read Aloud extension is having issues too. That's so weird. It's like, it's 2021. I really feel like text-to-speech is something that we could just have built into browsers and just like read out to people now. I guess people who actually have issues with that stuff just have screen readers. Alright, how do I view SCPs by order? How do I go to like SCP-0? At least 3 queries. I want to start at the original SCP. I've read a few of these, and I feel like they're actually good. Like, some of them are good, some of them are really bad. God damn it, I literally can't find the first SCP. I think it would be, like, are the SCPs in order? SCP-137 was the first ever written, originally posted on 4chan's /X paranormal board. Talk about good vertex shader, SDF, cube marker on instance triangles. With vertex shader, without loops if you want crazy SDF shapes in triangles. Cube marker. What is a cube marker? How many triangles are there, though? It's kind of buggy. Is it supposed to... Yeah, it's supposed to have cracks, right? Can I turn off the cracks? One is 30k triangles? Jesus. That does not seem like it's fast. Oh god. This does not look like it's efficient. You can actually see there's a bunch of lines that are duplicated. Like right there in between. Is that why there's cracks? So is it supposed to have cracks? Or is that a bug? So it's not a bug? I think I broke it. Nice though. I don't know why this stopped working. You have been warned. Mimetic kill agent. Will result in immediate cardiac arrest followed by death. Mimetic kill agent activated. It's a fractal. It's a fractal. Their mimetic kill agent is a fractal. That's actually pretty cool. So is that just a bunch of Mandelbrot fractals with different iterations overlaid on top of each other? Welcome, authorized personnel. Please select your desired file. SCP-0 object class Keter. To date, no adequate containment procedure has been developed to deal with the possible threat posed by SCP-001. This is due, in part, to the controversial nature of the items and debates concerning the necessity of its containment. This controversy is reflected in the terms changing object class and procedures utilized in its containment. Current administration, despite charges of paranoia, has classed the object Keter while requesting permission for a higher object class to be created and applied uniquely to this item. Considering it to be the most dangerous of all known or possible items, the reason for this classification and changing attitude are dealt with in the description and notes. At present, SCP-1 is located in a code-locked briefcase made of high-tensile reinforced polymer. The room and briefcase are monitored at all times by security cameras. Some of this stuff is like so ridiculous, it makes it pretty good. It's like movies that are like over the top. Briefcase, the room and the briefcase are monitored at all times by security cameras. The briefcase cannot be opened without unanimous special clearance from all current OS-05 officers. The briefcase is stored in a small, fully lit, single-room off-site building erected in Redacted. Class D personnel are posted to guard the building but may not enter without the aforementioned agreement from the O5 officers. Under threat of immediate termination, this off-site building exists for the sole purpose of housing SCP-001 and it's wired for detonation in an emergency. Okay, so like this stuff I feel like actually gives such like a good base for like, so I was talking about I want to have you run away from a scary monster in a forest. What do I have you find? Oh my god, there's a little bird that just went up to my window. It's like flapping its wings at me. I wonder what it wants. So now I know. One of the things I have an idea is maybe in the forest there's like remnants of like an abandoned, I don't know, research site or some shit. So you find a bunch of strewn junk and stuff. But maybe you'll find like notes or something. This stuff is like such good material to have in like in a horror game and notes. So you know how I said in that Slender Man game you find pages that you pick up, but then there's nothing written on the pages? I feel like it would be so good if like you actually found like stuff like this written on the pages that's just like old classic conspiracy theory material. Like it doesn't actually necessarily have a good overarching story, but it just sows the seed of all these conspiracy theories that gets people thinking. May not enter. This offsite building exists for the sole purpose of housing SCP-001 and is wired for detonation in an emergency. It is the opinion of the current administration that 001 represents the greatest threat to national and global security known to exist. Nevertheless, due to special circumstances regarding its mode of function, further research on the item is disallowed despite its promotion in the past when SCP-001 was contained in minimum security conditions. SCP-001 is a simple sheaf of papers stapled together in the top left corner of the sheet. It is a covering sheet reading simply confidential report on special items classified. The number of subsequent papers stapled to this covering sheet is indeterminate and have ranged from 3 to 30. The report is unsigned and its origin is unknown. The first appearance of this report was on Redacted. When it appeared on the desk of Redacted deceased, the report at the time described the living room. Shortly after reading the report with, well, I guess this is the next one we're going to read. Shortly after reading the report with incredulity, Redacted was contacted by phone regarding said item. The next time Redacted perused 001, it described not the living room, but biological motherboard. Redacted immediately closed 001, thinking it was a different report, and searched for the original report. Not finding it, he again opened 001, and this time it described not 003, but the 12 rusty keys in the door, SCP-004. Closed the report once more and opened it immediately to read the skeleton key, SCP-005. It is not known what the next actions of Redacted might have been at varying times following this incident. The aforementioned items were discovered. Insufficient research exists concerning the correlation between SCP-001 and all other known items. However, it has been established that every event regarding the discovery of a new SCP item has followed a report on the same item appearing beneath the cover sheet of SCP-001. The current administration regards this coincidence as proof of causal connection. Like, that is actually so good, where it's like complete conspiracy theory of these pages just appearing out of nowhere, but like, it's actually connected. You can't deny it. Whether SCP-001 is regarded as an advanced warning system, or whether SCP-001 itself is to be regarded as a creator of items requiring special containment, remains to be seen. However, the distinction is unimportant in the eyes of the current administration. The fact remains no new SCP items appear unless SCP-001 is open and read. It's for this reason that the current administration refuses to repeat the mistakes of the past. Mistakes that have resulted in over 1,000 SCP items coming to the knowledge of the SCP unit. Arguments concerning the non-lethality, its theoretically beneficial use of the SCP warning system, or its use as a progenitor of advanced biological and non-biological weapons, have not been swayed by the current administration, nor have arguments criticizing the extreme containment procedures employed in respect to an item that displays no nefarious qualities and is not animate as such. Critics are reminded these procedures are intended not to contain the item itself, but to isolate it from human interaction, which is to be regarded as the true threat. Okay. Dog, these are crazy. Like, this is better than some of the, like, scary storybooks we would get given in school. I don't know what it is about it either. Contain until a time when responsibility. SCP-002 and its containment area. Object Class Euclid is to remain connected to a suitable power supply at all times to keep it in what appears to be a recharging mode. In case of electrical outage, the emergency barrier between the object and the facility is closed and the immediate area evacuated. Once facility power is reestablished, alternating bursts of X-ray and ultraviolet must strobe the area until SCP-002 is reaffixed to the power supply and returned to recharging mode. Containment area is to be kept at negative air pressure at all times. Teams including a minimum of 2 members are required within 20 meters of SCP or its containment area. Personnel should maintain physical contact with one another at all times to confirm there is another person present, as perception may be dulled, skewed, or influenced by proximity to the object. So what was SCP-002 again? Describe the living room. So is that like a living room in a sphere or something? No personnel below level 3 are permitted within 002. This requirement may be waived via written authorization. Command staff issued such a waiver. Must be escorted by at least 5 level 3 security staff. Quarantine and psychological evaluation. If deemed fit for return to duty by psych staff, rank and security clearance may be restored when quarantine expires. SCP-002 resembles a tumorous fleshy growth with a volume of 60 meters squared. An iron valve hatch on one side leads to its interior, which appears to be a standard low-rent apartment of modest size. One wall of the room possesses a single window, though no such opening is visible from the exterior. The room contains furniture which upon close examination appears to be sculpted bone, woven hair, and various other biological substances produced by the human body. All matter tested show independent or fragmented DNA sequences. To date, subject has been responsible for the disappearance of 7 personnel. It has also been in its time at the facility further furnished itself with 2 lamps, a throw rug, a television, a radio, a beanbag chair, 3 books in an unknown language, 4 children's toys, and a small potted plant. Tests with a variety of lab animals, including higher primates, have failed to provoke a response in 002. Cadavers as well failed to produce any effect. Whatever process the subject uses to convert organic matter into furnishings is apparently only facilitated by the introduction of living humans. Subject was discovered in a small crater in northern Portugal where it struck the Earth from orbit. Encased in a shell of thick rock, the fleshy interior of the object was exposed by impact. A native farmer happened upon the site and reported his findings to the village elder. Subject gained SCP attention when a level 4 agent posted in the area detected a small radioactive anomaly generated by the object. A collection squad of SCP security personnel led by Mulhausen was immediately dispatched to the area, where they quickly secured the subject in a larger container and performed initial testing with subjects recruited from the nearby village. Oh my god. So the SCP Foundation is like a rogue government. They just take people and just use them as test subjects. God, I should have known. I should have known. Quickly secured the subject in a large container and performed initial testing with subjects recruited from the nearby village. 3 men individually sent into the structure subsequently disappeared. Upon discovering this deadly property of the object, Mulhausen issued a level 4A termination order of any witnesses, roughly a third of the village, to ensure no outside knowledge of the object, and initiated its transport to SCP facility expunged. During preparation for transport, SCP personnel were inexplicably drawn inside the object, where they too immediately disappeared. Following inspection, it appeared as if the object had grown several new furnishings and was beginning to look like the interior of an apartment room. General Mulhausen immediately ordered requisition of several Class 3 hazmat suits for remaining team members. When they proceeded to lift the container onto a waiting freight ship for transport. Following the termination of Mulhausen, SCP-2 was resecured by SCP staff and brought into special containment, where it currently resides. Staff with clearance below level 3 have been denied access. So Mulhausen got terminated. I think that means killed. Dog, these are actually better than I thought. Honestly, no, I was expecting a bunch of spelling mistakes and like very nice. So what I'm thinking is in the forest you're gonna find some like, yeah, it's so hard to decide and like get fixated on one. It's so hard to plan out a game, even if it's just a very simple gameplay thing such as like finding notes. It's like, what is a good gameplay loop for a horror game? I feel like finding conspiracy theory stuff like notes is actually such a good thing. Yeah, so I'm thinking through the forest, you're gonna find like junk piles of maybe like metal scraps and maybe like barrels and basically like industrial waste stuff. And in there you might find some like strewn office equipment and some notes. And maybe that's where you find the papers. I'm just thinking, I feel like there's a better way to yeah, good gameplay. What is good gameplay? Oh yeah, I've got this procedural generation class I could work on too. I don't think I'm gonna work on that at the moment. This cartoon render pipeline I made the other day runs on GLES2, which I'm pretty happy about. I went and did an Android build. You can see it's on Android, GLES2, which, yeah, I think is very nice. Switch back to this platform. basically means that like part of the reason I made the cartoon render pipeline is a fast thing that ran on any platform. So if it runs on the lowest graphics tier, OpenGL ES2, then success. One of the really conflicting things, though, is that I've seen is that some Linux. So like, I feel like the one thing that GLES2 might actually benefit is Linux for really old Linux builds, but Unity doesn't support GLES2 in Linux anymore. You can see in the Open Graphics API, there's only OpenGL Core, which is kind of disappointing. So I thought about it, and it's like basically all Android devices these days support linear graphics. The only platform I could find that doesn't support sRGB most of the time is Linux with people who have old GLES2 hardware. And Unity doesn't support GLES2 anymore on Linux. So that's... I mean, what can you do? But if it supported GLES2, that would actually support integrated graphics, wouldn't it? Any way to get GLES2 back on Linux? Oh wait, is there a thing here about GLES? Great graphics after 2015 supports Vulkan and DirectX 12 these days. Nice. Yeah, and I thought OpenGL Core is supported by a lot. Available on Windows machines with Intel or NVIDIA drive. Oh, on Windows machines. Say anything about Linux here? Yeah, OpenGL 3.2 to 4.5. That's what I thought. Alright. What can you do though, right? Yeah, so even in OpenGL ES 3.0, there is sRGB, so I'm actually good. Alright. Well, be right back. Gotta go to the washroom. And then I think we'll actually start development of this game. I think just having you run through the forest from some monster is really good to begin, and then I can work on adding something like notes. One of the other things I'm thinking about is I want you to actually, the forest to be infinitely repeating. So like, when you go to the border of the forest, it should start the other end of the forest. So I'm thinking how to do that, because I don't want to duplicate the whole scene and put it in front of you, but I think that's like the only way to do it. So I'll be thinking about that. Be right back though. There's a racing game, Trackmania, where players creating custom maps. Then maps have lots of trees, everything lacks because no optimization to it on engine side. Oof. Yeah, I can feel that. I can get that. So, I had this blank project template, and I can't remember if it has the universal render pipeline in it. No, it doesn't. I think it's actually completely blank. I remember I had such a huge issue getting just a blank project in Unity. And have universal render pipeline here. Modules, Android JNI, particle system, VR, terrain physics. Okay, it doesn't look like custom render pipeline is there. So I decided while I was on the toilet that I don't want the map to tile and loop around. I'm gonna do a I don't know what you'd call it, like a not a canyon, like the opposite of a hill, like a crater, where you start the game up on like a sort of like I don't know, like rock shelf, and you like hike down into this like forest that's in like a canyon. Toilet ideas, best ideas. Yeah, gives you time to think. What do I name the project? What about insecure containment? I think I'm just gonna like. It seems stupid to come up with a name right now when you basically come up with nothing about the game. So it's like, I think I'm just doing like a project name like Tense Forest Horror, but it's not really a forest game. It's more like Tense Forest Jump Scare. Darkness is scary. Alright. The project name is going to be Scary Dark Forest. What the hell is this window layout? There we go, that's better. Oh god, I gotta recreate my window layout that I had last time. So that's tall. Is wide better? Kind of. Put this over there. The console here. Alright, yeah, this is... And what package do we have? Unity UI and Visual Studio. Beautiful! Okay, so let's think about this. I think I want the new Unity input system because it has input rebinding. So I can really easily add an input rebinding menu. I hate how slow this package manager is. Like, look at this. It's literally freezing Unity. This is the one thing. Blender is way better about add-ons. When you install a Blender add-on, you just drop it in the folder and you are good to go. So what I'm going to try doing here is I'm going to try copying the input system into the package cache or whatever here. And then this way I should be able to not have to download the input system again. Instead, it'll just copy it from one folder on my computer to another, which should be way faster. Oh, the other thing that I'm not 100% certain about is this render pipeline's core. I'm not sure if I need that for my own custom render pipeline. I'm curious if I do. So hopefully copying this works and it just imports correctly. It might throw errors because I think it might have some dependencies that I don't have. I don't have the data testing package, so I might need to delete some files related to the tests. Yep, and unit. Yeah, all the errors are hopefully related to... Oh wait. Tear down. Yeah, so I think all of these are related to... Do I even have the package here? Yeah, extension NUnit. And we don't need any of the tests. So we can just go and we can just delete the test folder. Hopefully that should just free up our errors in the console. Nice, okay. So then I will enable the new input system. Where do I enable the new input system? I guess right there. What's the differences between the package folder and the assets folder? I need to Google this. Is there any reason I should put things in assets over packages? Okay. Please don't give errors. Please don't give errors. Ah. Command buffer pool does not exist in the current context. So this is very interesting. There's actually just one thing missing, and it's actually just the command buffer pool from the core render pipeline, and all that does is let us reuse command buffers. I actually think it would be more efficient if we don't use that and just create our own command buffer. So if we're going to copy that code, let's actually go and look. Let's find the core. I'm going to find that code for the command buffer pool and see if it's actually that efficient. Oh my god, you know what drives me crazy? The Windows search doesn't actually find things in files anymore unless you index all of your files, which is insanely slow. Software is getting worse. Here we go. Command buffer pool. Wait, so this is really interesting. When it gets an object, pops an object off the stack. The stack count is 0. So I'm curious about this. What if we write this to use our own command buffer? This is actually a good class to kind of recreate. I actually used to have an object pool class that I used myself, and I don't know what I did with it. I probably have it on another, probably somewhere on like Bitbucket or GitHub or something, but so instead of doing that, I'm just going to allocate a command buffer at the beginning. And we only use one command buffer at once, so I don't see why this shouldn't work. What do I call command buffer dispose or release? Huh. There's no information on disposing. Dispose versus release. Damn, there's like no documentation on this stuff or very little posts on forums. I think I'm just gonna call dispose. Like, the fact that Unity doesn't document this drives me fucking crazy. Like, nice, thanks, you gave us a command buffer API. Now how do you actually use it and release it? There is no information on freeing the command buffer. So that's great, Unity. How you create a command buffer. Now how do you actually free the graphics memory that you allocate with this? Holy shit. Like, I wonder if they expect you to realize. Like, I actually don't get this because it doesn't even say that it inherits from disposable, but you can see in the code here, you can see it inherits from disposable. It's actually so fucking undocumented. Holy shit. Like, I guess I'm gonna go diving into Unity code to see what they do here when they release the command buffer. So they never actually delete command buffers in their code here because it's a pool. And they expect the pool to never get closed. What the fuck, Unity? Yeah, so all they do is clear the command buffer when it's freed. Oh my god. Unity's code is so badly written. It is a fucking joke. Command buffers warning spamming the console. Oh my god. In their new DOTS system, they created another command buffer system that's separate from the rendering command buffer. Holy shit. So if you're ever a developer, one of the things you should never do is create two parts of your API that share the same name so that when people are Googling it, you get answers for both. Especially when it's such a big engine as Unity. Yep. So all of these now are on entity command buffers. These aren't actually on graphics command buffers. Holy shit. Unity is actually becoming such a pain to work with, and it's so sad because it used to be the engine that was just easy to use. What a shit show. Yep. Oh my god. So this is another entity command buffer. This isn't even rendering command buffer. So now when I Google how to use Unity command buffers, I don't even get answers on Unity command buffers. Oh my god. And they don't even talk about freeing resources. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. I should not have to go through 50 pages of Unity documentation just to see what function I should call to free their fucking command buffer API. Like, this is such bad design from Unity developers. It's actually a joke. Like, such a shit system. Oh my god. So they have all these functions and they don't even document the one that you need to use every single time, and that's how you free the command buffer. Seriously, fuck Unity developers. It's... Is it just me, or is part of the reason that no games are coming out these days the fact that engines are in a terrible state? Like, I know tons of people are like, oh my god, game developers are struggling and all this stuff from COVID, but it's like, I think game developers are struggling just with software. Like, game developers are dealing with all the same Windows update shit that everyone else has to deal with. Game developers are dealing with the exact same fucking internet slowdowns and shit. Oh my god. Game developers just deal with the stupid shit of companies like Unity doing what's best for their bottom line, but not giving a fuck about developers. The biggest slap in the face, I think it was I want to see if I can bring up this survey. There was a survey Unity did about their universal render pipeline. Let's see if I can bring this back up. Unity wants to better understand your needs for the render pipeline. If you go to the universal render pipeline, it's literally filled with people's bugs and people asking how to do certain things. How fucking tone deaf do you think it is for this guy to post what do people want when their forum is filled with bugs? It's fucking obvious that people want a usable product that's documented, that doesn't have a bunch of bugs and console errors straight off the bat. You don't need... So the biggest slap in your face is this survey is like 100 pages long. I looked at doing it, and it's literally like 100 pages long. I shit you not. It's crazy. And you know how stupid that is for them to say, oh, we need your input on this, when their forum is full of people giving input and Unity devs aren't responding to 99% of these posts. 99% of these posts just get left with no effect. No response. No anything. And then the Unity dev goes, well, why don't you guys fill out a 100-page survey telling us what you want? We just want an engine that isn't filled with bugs. I don't give a fuck if it makes a nice tech demo that you can show off at E3 or whatever. I want a fucking engine that works without console errors and has documentation on the functions that's needed. Like, holy fuck. It's like basic shit that they're just failing to do, because I'm sure they're focused on other things like matching Unreal Engine in terms of visual quality. And you know they're not going to do that. They're going to fucking fail, because for whatever reason, that's never been Unity's focus. But I feel like the fact that they're trying to make that their focus now, when they've obviously failed so hard at it in the past, it's basically setting themselves up for failure. Like the direction that Unity is going as an engine is not a good direction. Actually, wait. Gary's Mod developer actually wrote a forum post about how much of a mess Unity is these days. Alright, so now I don't know if I should clear this before or after. I think I'm going to clear it each time afterwards. So basically what we're doing here is we're making one global command buffer, because this is the only command buffer we use. There's no reason to use a command buffer pool when we're not pooling anything except for a single object. So then we clear the command buffer each time after using it. See if this works. Oh wait, I say let's see if this works. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my test ground and see if that works in the test ground too. Because I actually have, this might cause errors. Reusing the same command buffer might bug stuff out. So let's see if it does. Copy this, paste that. Nope. Still works. Okay. Nice. Dog, it actually bothers me so much when I go to look up a simple thing with Unity and it's just not documented. It scares me, dude. Like, building a whole game off this, it just almost feels like an unthinkable thing to do. Like, why would I build a game off this undocumented piece of a shit of an engine? The reason is because it's really hard to make your own engine. But at the same time, it's like forced into a corner. Like, why would I use this piece of shit engine that I just waste my time on? Looking up these things that should be documented. It's actually interesting to me though. Like, I can be motivated towards making a game, and then I go to use Unity, and Unity like sucks that motivation out of me. Like, after trying to actually use Unity, I'm like, dog, if making a game means fucking with these Unity APIs, then I'm not about this. You know what the big thing that fucked with me as well was? So this animation system, I went to go just like, this animation system actually worked pretty good as a keyframe timeline system back in Unity 5 and Unity 4. And so when I had this little test project, I was like, oh, I'll go and make a little animation for the camera. Hold on, where is it? So just ignore the pink screen. So I put an animation on this camera, right? Let me see if I can show an example. So first of all, it has this nice quick start, so you can just press quick create animation. And if you do this, it actually doesn't work. Look, so it creates this animation, and this is using Avatar animation system. I don't know what you call it. It's Unity's new Mechanim animation system. It doesn't let you just play animations. You need to actually go and create an animation controller. Just to play a single animation, you need to make a state machine. Like, it's so ridiculously complicated to do a very simple thing. And then what's crazy is that this now doesn't work with the old animation system. If you go and you try to use the old animation system, like you go and add an animation on here, if you see, you now can't create an animation. They bugged their old animation system when they added Mechanim, but they've kept their legacy animation system as, because they tell you it works. Except it doesn't work. They bugged it in their engine. Stuff like this is ridiculous. Like them putting a feature and saying, oh yeah, you can keep using this old feature, but you actually can't. It's bugged. Like, I actually think, I keep going back to this. I keep saying Unity is a piece of shit engine. I don't know why I keep picking it up. But here I go. I keep picking up Unity. Oh, dog. I'm not going to make a game in Unity. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go plan out what my next steps are for my JavaScript and my C engine. I was doing a little bit of programming for C Core, my C engine, and like, it's not doing bad. Like, I have CPU rendering down in my C engine. It's doing pretty good. My JavaScript engine is basically like ready for 2D development. I might just go and make a simple 2D game in JavaScript, honestly, what I'm thinking. Work on then importing some 3D object. Like, I'm thinking about what I need for this game I'm trying to create. I'm literally importing tree meshes and grass meshes and generating a basic terrain. I don't even need Unity to do that. I have my 3D procedurally generated terrain in my JavaScript engine. Procedural terrain. Oh god, it's not gonna work. Okay, I have it, but it doesn't work. But it will. It will. My whole logic is, though, if I'm going to be spending time doing this, like, I would so much rather do it with my own engine. Or with, like, hell, I saw a thing talking really good about Godot the other day. Tons of people having a great development experience with Godot. Maybe it is a time for me to go and look at a new engine. Wouldn't that be the best thing that Unity could do for me, is motivate me to go and try another engine? Anyways, I'm going to go for now. I need to rethink about this, because, like, I kind of build up RIP motivation really sums it up. I build up motivation, and then I go to actually develop and spend that motivation at Unity. But the development I get per motivation spent is so low in Unity. There's so many things you struggle with and are just... Godot is 5-year-old Unity for you. Better go for 5-year-old Unity, as you tell many times. Yeah, I mean, their C API is pretty good. That's my thing, though. Like, at the end of the day, I can't resist making my own APIs and using my own APIs. Like, I go and I struggle with Unities, and I'm just like, why would I do this when I know how to program my own? I do think starting with 2D is a really good idea, though. Just going and making a little 2D game. So this is a good conversation. I haven't talked about this for a while. When I'm using Unity, I actually feel bad about making 2D games. Like, I go, oh, why would I make a 2D game? I'm using Unity, and it's basically only good for 3D. My logic completely changes when I go to my own engine. I go, fuck yeah, I'll make a 2D game. I love working with my own engine and the shaders in this. Can do some, like, cool 2D effect shaders and stuff like that. And it's like, it's so easy to go, oh yeah, Unity is the quickest way to make a game because it's already preset and ready. But, like, at the end of the day, the development process is so much more complicated than that, than just, like, trying to get to the end of development as quick as possible. Keep motivation, man, that important. That's the other thing I'm saying, is, like, if I can make that motivation go longer when I'm doing my own engine, that just seems to just make way more sense. Alright, I'm gonna go get some food. I might be back soon. I might be back this afternoon. I don't know. Hey, maybe we'll just play more Splitgate, but I do really want to work on a bunch of game dev. I don't think I need to say that game dev is complicated. Alright, I'll see you around. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. I do think SCP is good motivation for horror games, though. That really got me thinking about, like, a bunch of different creepy monsters and things. Alright, bye-bye.